I don't have too long to make this video. My bag's right here. I low-key forgot the video topic, but what I want to talk to you about today is about how your struggle and your success is not forever. Now, I wrote this all down. I gotta call my grandma back. I didn't have the time to do all the setup or whatever. Do you know what it feels like to go from the top of where you've ever been to just back to ground zero, right? That's what I was making this video about, is because do you know what it feels like to go from rock bottom to the top, right? Do you remember how it felt to not be like recognized and shit for the things you make, the art you're creating, the music? You remember not getting recognized because you were fat or you were skinny and like getting made fun of, right? So it's like going from that, that point to this other point where you're in shape, you got the most money you ever had, you getting girls, you like, I don't know, everything you create seems like everybody loves it, right? All of that stuff, you have to remember, is temporary, right? Not everyone's gonna be, you're not gonna always be at the top of the mountain, and you have to be completely okay with that. Same thing with the bottom. You're not always gonna be eating shit. You're not always gonna have horrible ideas, horrible creation. You're not always gonna be uncredited, unnoticed. You're not always gonna go unnoticed. You're not always gonna be invisible. These things are all temporary, and you have to remember that. But once you were really good at something, once you get really good at something, you won't always be the best at it. And I don't want to get sidetracked, so that's going to be a different video topic. But today's video topic, like I said, is just nothing lasts forever. And I am currently living in this current situation right now, where I went to the gym yesterday and motherfucking 35 felt like 55s. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm back to square one. Like I said, I got to call my grandma back, so can't speak too long. You know what I'm saying? I went to the gym, did 9 pull-ups, 10 pull-ups, barely. Don't want this tripod to move. I did barely 10 pull-ups. You're talking to a guy who I had to like mentally prepare myself for it, because I would do pull-ups with 2 plates hanging on my belt. Same thing with the dips. Yo, I must have did like 10, but the difference is I can feel it instantly. They hurt. Those dips hurt. I knew that tripod was gonna move. I knew. When you're at the top of your game, just understand that. Enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? Enjoy it. Be present. Love it. But understand that you could always be swung the fuck back, and there's nothing wrong with that. And the same thing for if you're like you're down horrible right now. You don't know what to do. You're indecisive. You probably get no money or something. Like, I don't know. Maybe you're single and you're like, oh, bro, whatever. You gotta understand that that's temporary as well, as long as you do something about it and you are actively working towards becoming better, right? Because that's all my channel is about. It's about developing yourself in all aspects and constantly striving to get better through self-reflection, through understanding who you are and what you bring to the world, and what it means to live for you anyway. What is it that you want to leave behind? What is it that you want to bring to the world? Maybe just understanding that, because for me, I used to take from people, I used to hate people, and I used to be jealous a lot, and look at people, look at you, look at what you had, and just feel like you didn't deserve it kind of vibe. So I'm speaking from, I would say, experience, but I'm also speaking from the heart. It really feels like I'm doing that, and that's the passion that I'm building with my YouTube channel and those who I can help during my fitness coaching, and those who I can help just in general, right? So use your moments of down and reflect on how you get there. That's something I just wrote down. Understand that when you are down, don't just focus on how do I get up to the peak, how do I get to the fine shits, how do I get to the money, how do I get to the Benz, whatever you want, right? also focus on how you got to where you are right now. So if you're broke, if you are struggling spiritually, if you're struggling with fucking, I don't know, anything, really try to self-reflect and ask yourself how you got there. Ask yourself, what is it that you couldn't even control anyway that you are holding yourself accountable for, right? Things like that. Because that's what I do, and that's what keeps me intact. That's what keeps me in a state of understanding, right? Rather than in a state of fear and deserve and entitlement and all this other shit. So you have to be cognizant of what you are constantly telling yourself and what you constantly think about. That's definitely another video. My grandma's calling me again. When you're up, you really want to take your time. When you actually get there and you get that physique you want, you get the money, you get the respect, you get the fame, whatever it is that you want, maybe you are now getting noticed and filling out your shirts, right? That's something I wanted. When you're up there, when you get there, try to understand why it is that you're there. Take the time to understand what led you to get to this point. Who helped you get there? And there's nothing wrong with that. Who helped you get there? Who can help you get there right now? If you're down, who can help you get to that point right now? That's a whole philosophy that I stole from a book called Why, Who Not Why. I think it was that. Don't know the author. Apologize for that. I'll probably review it later on the series. But yeah, man, look, take the time to reflect on your life, just where you are, what it is can you take accountability for, what it is can you control, right? But understand the thing about control is you don't want it to be obsessive, right? Because if you're anything like me, you want control over 90% of the aspects of your life. You want control over your life. You want to really not feel caged. You don't want people to come around you and take from you. And there's nothing wrong with that, but you have to have the strength to know when to not be obsessive, when to let go of the control, when to be okay with it. Because I just came from 2-3 months, no gym, no good diet. I preach good diet, but no good diet. I don't like who I am when I'm not in the gym. So I was already doing nothing all day, shit like that. So, and I had to let go of that control and be okay with it. And I was okay with it. Now things are changing and I'm back to square one. You know, I really wanted to emphasize that video title because that's what I thought about. But yeah. Life has a variety of different solutions. So why did I write that down? So a little bit of unease, like the time I was going through when I couldn't work out, I couldn't do anything I wanted, I had no control over my life. Was that enough for me to quit? Absolutely not. And it shouldn't be enough for you to quit either. If you say you want something, you gotta want it, and it's just that. Things go wrong, left to right. You might have a couple weeks, couple months where you don't get to do what you want to do, how you want to do it. But you have to be completely okay with that.